see spaghetti and meatballs staring at me. Spaghetti and meatballs staring at me. Get yourself a serving, maybe two. Talking Bulls basketball is what we do. Get your garlic bread and your dish of the week on spaghetti and meatballs. Oh yeah, spaghetti and meatballs. Don't forget the Parmesan cheese.
Okie dokie, we are back. All you tasty meatballs. We're about to get into it. This is going to be an interesting episode here on Spaghetti and Meatballs. Host Trevin and John Z. Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I've been better. I mean, me personally, I'm great, but fan wise, it's tough.
It's just that they suck us in with the Celtics and the Bucks.
I know. I fell for it.
And the Jazz. I'm like, okay, we're getting.
I know. I fell for it.
So I mean, the OKC one was like, all right, we're battling. We just had like 2 big wins, and I was like, trap game.
Yeah, and you know what? They've got some talent on that.
Yeah, they do.
Young talent, but yeah, that one wasn't as much of a killer as
Orlando.
Yeah. Well, and also that performance against Phoenix the other night.
So. Well, and Trevin and I were just talking pregame. I cashed it in at halftime. We got down 20 at halftime. I texted Trevin, "Good night. I'm done."
Yeah, I didn't make it much past that because the third quarter started and it went from bad to worse real quick. So I didn't even know that until I read it the next day that Booker dropped 51 through 3 quarters on us.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, let's get into it because we do have some things to talk about.
Yes.
Let's get into it. You had mentioned to me you had something you wanted to.
Okay. Now, this is really just, I didn't want to call it an official shout out.
Yeah.
But I wanted the people, our fans, to know that you, my co-host, sits atop Stale Nachos fantasy football.
Yes, I do.
So I wanted to give you a shout out. We got 2 weeks to go.
You slid that in there, you dog.
I did. I didn't, I'm out of it. Terrible. One of the worst seasons I've ever had, but you're the dog in the race for me.
I got it. While we're in this, and you brought that up, I got to give a shout out to Resser because he pulled out a victory over to Theron. I still would have been in first point wise, and then Theron and I really would have been battling out this weekend. Yeah. But it gave me a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be it's fun.
Yeah, I'm all on board for you. So.
Hey, I tell you what, right now, I win it. I buy us a couple tickets to a Bulls game.
Okay. All right. Now I'm even more invested.
I'm not talking floor level or anything here, but I'll tell you what, I win this thing, and part of the winnings are going to a game.
All right. That'd be awesome, man. Keep it up. I got faith.
I have this is probably our second ever, in my recollection, celebrity-ish tweet that we've gotten at us.
Okay.
And it's about as cut and dry as he must know that we're playing the Warriors tonight.
Okay.
And I wrote it down in the inbox, Del Curry.
Oh, shit.
It just says, pussies. I read it and I was like, what? Like he must.
Nothing else needs to be said, I guess.
We're not slandering, Steph here. We're not going after him.
But love for both the Curry brothers.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah. Hey.
Wow, Del Curry going below the belt.
All right. We said it pregame.
Yeah.
Right before we come on air, a tweet comes out. Do you want me to read it and then you can?
Yeah. Go ahead and read that, and then we'll react.
So the tweet is from Daniel Greenberg. According to Zach Lowe, NBA insider Zach Lowe, the Los Angeles Lakers have had internal discussions about a potential trade for Chicago Bulls forwards DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. So,
yeah, I had not, right before you had before we discussed that on the pregame show, I hadn't heard anything about that until like a minute before I clicked on here. So fresh reaction here. I mean, I'm not against the idea, but from what I heard the return was, which I don't know if that was according to that tweet or if this was
go ahead.
What a possible return could be.
Right.
Not that this was offered, but it was something about Russell Westbrook, a first-round pick in 2 years and a first-round pick in 4 years.
Let me see. Yes, you're correct. Let me see if I can find it.
Because I'll tell you right now, if that's the return, no way, Jose.
Yeah, this was not part of this is isolated, but a day ago, Bill Simmons had tweeted a trade idea, and it said the Lakers get Vooch and DeMar. So now it's like, okay, what does he know? Because now it comes out. But the Bulls received Russell Westbrook, a 2027 first-round pick, and a 2029 first-round pick, top 5 protected. So we see nothing for 4 years and then 6 years in a 32-year-old Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be kidding me, right?
And I understand is AK saying by making that trade he's waving the white flag? God damn it.
And you know, I mean, and that's like bigger picture of what we need to discuss here, but on the surface of it, I mean, I'm always in the mindset of being open to trades if ultimately it makes the team better. So I am not saying in any way that I want to trade either of them, but I'm not against it if it helps the team, and not helps the team in 6 years from now, but within the next year or two, you know?
Yes. If we're saying, like, I 100% agree with you. It's not like 6 years you and I are sitting here filming. We're like, and now it comes to fruition.
Finally,
we've won the trade. No.
Yeah.
So if that's the return, and maybe that's not even associated with it.
Right. But I think that's a really low spot to even start. I have no idea what the Bulls could get out of that.
Now, if it's here's mine. If they are getting both Vooch and DeMar, we get back some young talent, Lonnie Walker and Max Christie, local guy, Bolingbrook.
Yeah.
And 2 first-round picks, and they're the next 2 years.
I would be all for that.
This year's and next year. You give me Lonnie Walker, Max Christie's, and 2 first-round picks, I make the trade.
I completely agree with that, because if you're getting young players back and those picks are a lot sooner, I'm all for it, because right now, I mean, realistically, the way this team is, we're not winning a championship.
No.
We're not in the ballpark right now. So
we got absolutely pounded on the Vooch trade. Lost is an understatement on that trade.
And I have it in my notes that I'm not saying I'm very close to claiming him not as my guy anymore.
It's your guy.
I can't be associated with this. I've hitched on to him as long as I can, but oh my gosh, it is so painful.
Well, and it's funny because as far as our guys go, our guys won us the Milwaukee game.
Yes, they hit some big shots at the end of that game.
So, guys, to our listeners, if you're new to the show and you don't know, Trevin's guy is Vooch, and my guy is Kobe White. We love everybody.
Right.
But those are our guys.
Right, exactly. We'd love to see those guys specifically do well. And ironically, those are the 2 that hit the biggest shots in that Milwaukee game.
Yes. So here's my thing. I don't even know, like, we didn't even discuss this. Like, do we want to focus on the future on this show right now, or we want to talk about like the next week like we normally do?
Honestly, I don't know. I have that written in my notes too. Like, is it worth discussing like I think we've both come to again the reality that it like this team can beat any team in the NBA on any given night.
Yes.
But there is such small room for error that if things aren't played exactly the Bulls' way, then I mean they're getting blown out by 20 points by these teams, by these better teams.
So I'm going to focus on the future in a hypothetical. I'm saying we've made this trade. We now have a starting lineup of Io, who's 22, Patrick Williams, who's 21. You probably throw Kobe in there, who's 22. You still got Zach, and then you got to bring some size with Drummond. Yeah. So there's our starting lineup.
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench, we're going to have our two guys that we got from, the Lakers.
Right.
And then whatever happens with Lonzo, which from what I've heard is January, February of this year. And you got Javante. You got a fun group. Something to look forward
to. You still have AC there.
You still have AC there. Like,
yeah, and I agree because I just want to see good, fun, competitive basketball. I know they're not going to win a championship. I know that at this point they'll be lucky to make the playoffs the way that they're playing.
Yeah, I'm really worried.
I if that trade went down, I would look forward to watching that team play and seeing what they could make of it, because I think Kobe White, the more minutes he gets, the better he's going to be. I wouldn't, I would be happy to see him in the starting lineup.
Here's, now that we're living in a hypothetical land, we've made this trade. Do we trade Lonzo Ball? Do we have any takers for Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, I don't know, because that's what I was talking to my guy earlier today, and it doesn't sound good, John. It still doesn't sound good.
Driving.
Still not able to run.
Yeah.
He's in the weight room. He's, able to lift and do like core exercises and stuff, but in terms of any, like, far from being cleared for any contact. So I'm worried. I actually read a scary thing that it's more likely that he won't return than he will return
this year.
I don't know. Yes, this year, correct. So I don't know what to make of that, because that is the one thing like you're kind of hoping on.
Yeah,
Lonzo come back, because if it's the Lonzo from last year and the difference he made on this team, that's something to look forward to.
Oh, for sure.
But if he's not coming back, I'm not sure.
Jeez, cheese and rice, Trevin.
I know. I don't mean to.
No. This is where I'm at in my life.
It's the sooner you accept it, the better. The easier it is. So one thing I would like to see a little more of. Now I know that it's this is not. This is more big picture, kind of what do you have? I'd like to see Dalen Terry get a little more.
Yeah, why not?
Action. I'd like to see him get a few minutes in there, and not just when they're getting blown out by 25 points in the fourth quarter, but put him in there in the second quarter for a few minutes, and why not?
So I'm gonna bring us back for a minute. We don't make the trade.
Okay.
We have. I don't have it on the top of my head. We both know that we have Golden State tonight.
Yep. We got the Kings after that.
Yeah, we got the Kings on Sunday, I believe. So we got in a week, like we like to do, Golden State, Sacramento, Washington. Can we win 2 out of 3 of those?
It's so hard to say with this team because,
I mean, even then we'd be 11-13 and still on the outside looking in.
Yeah, because what are we in, like the 12th spot or something?
We're in the 12th spot right now. Only a half game behind the Heat and a half game behind the Knicks for that last playoff spot.
Yeah,
the Wizards are ahead of us.
But I do remember seeing a couple days ago, so I'm sure it's changed a little bit, but they were still only like 3.5 games out from like the 5th spot or something.
Oh, yeah, they are. And the thing is, like, they have played an insane schedule.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, we played Milwaukee twice. We have played Boston twice.
Yeah.
We have played Washington. We played Toronto. Like, we've had I know we lost to Orlando. We lost to San Antonio. We lost to OKC. But, we beat Boston twice, Milwaukee, Miami. Like, we beat some good teams too.
Yeah, we beat Utah the other
Utah.
night. Yeah, that was a nice win.
So
yeah, I don't know. That's why because I remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking before Thanksgiving that over those next 6 games that if we could go 3-3, we did go 3-3.
We did go 3-3, just not the way we
exactly. We won every game we thought they would lose, and then they lost every game they thought. So I don't know like what to make of that. That's I guess what can be so discouraging.
So right now we're 9-12. If we before our next pod can gain 1 game on that,
all right, yeah,
and get things going in a positive direction here.
Yeah. Because the thing that concerns me about this team is the consistent effort on defense. Is that sometimes like in that Milwaukee game, and I don't know if it's a product of, like you were saying, their schedule being so hard that they get up for these big games and then they have these letdown games. So I'm not, and I don't know if it's other teams playing up and getting hyped to play the Bull. I'm not really sure, but like they can look so good against Boston on defense. They can look so good against Milwaukee on defense. What Patrick Williams does out there on a nightly basis, yes, he knows how to play defense. So, but I guess that's it. I come to that conclusion with like, these guys are world-class athletes. If they want to play good defense, they can play good defense.
Yes.
I understand like missing a rotation here and there and stuff, but like I just worry that it's like an effort thing, and that sometimes Zach wants to play on the defensive end, and other times he like just doesn't give a shit at all.
No, like Zach LaVine, hey, you run a 4.6 40 and you have a 50-inch vertical leap. You can play defense. You're athletic.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Tell me you can't play defense. You just
can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
No, it's not in my game anywhere.
Yeah, so. It's about effort. It's about effort. And like you and I always, we're texting, we're tweeting during the show, and it's like, oh, look, there's a minute 38 left in the first, and we've let up 32 points. Yeah, that's not sustainable.
Don't you think at some point you would just like come out like after that happened so many times where that's your focus is like you just lock down on defense no matter screw what happens on the offensive end. Like we're not allowing 40 points in the first quarter tonight. Yeah.
We're going to try to hold them under 75 points in the first half tonight.
Yeah, but I don't know. It never seems to fail that, somehow.
You know what, though? We're burying the headline. Is Frank Murray Knicks fan 69?
Oh, yes. That does need to be discussed.
Do you have a dish of the week?
I do have a dish of the week.
I have one, but
this is going back to the game against Utah.
Okay.
Good game. First half kind of up and down a little bit, but it's 1 point down by like 12 points, but kind of crawled back. Came out in the third quarter, made the adjustments, and I'm going to give the dish of the week to DeMar DeRozan. Now, normally he doesn't get the dish of the week. That's why I wanted to give it to him. A nice alley-oop to Zach. It was in the half-court set. It wasn't even on a fast break or anything. And DeMar was like 8 feet behind the three-point line, way out there. And it was the Bulls were down by 4 at that point. So it was a nice kind of spark in the middle of that run that kept it going. So that's my dish of the week.
I know it's been a while because we took a little Thanksgiving break, but when we're playing the Celtics, we're in the half-court set. DeMar does a spin move, patent spin move, dumps it off to a cutting AC, and it was a thing of beauty.
Yes, I do remember that play because that was – we might have texted about that one. I can't remember. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty one. And again, is that 2 DeMars?
Yeah, it's 2 DeMars. So he can
gotta love that. Gotta love that.
I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to say we have 3 games coming up. 2 are winnable.
Yeah.
Let's go 2-1 in the next 3. We'd be at reconvene next week. We're 11-13, and then we'd be facing I know I'm jumping all over the place here.
No, you're good because let's see. The schedule gets a little bit easier after that.
Yeah, we get Dallas, Atlanta, New York, Minnesota. Yeah, it gets a little better.
Yeah, that's interesting that they play the Knicks on Wednesday and Friday, both in Chicago.
And then the next Friday, so like an 8-day span,
yeah.
they can play the Knicks 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
Let's make it like, and this isn't obviously not a team goal. This is our goal.
Yes.
They're totally responsible for, but yeah, we're going to state it. Let's get to 500 by Christmas.
I think that's a realistic goal because that would give them, like we said, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. So they would need to be 7-4, which looking at that schedule, that's not, I think, that's a good possibility. So I don't know. We'll see. I agree with you. We got to focus on the positives.
Focus on positives.
Some of these games, get so rough and like so quickly. That's why I was glad in that Utah game. They went down by like 12 points in the second quarter. I'm like, and Lowry just was going off in that first half.
Okay. Was this another tweet? What's going on here?
Hang on. We might have live breaking news.
No. Sorry.
Okay. False alarm. Go ahead. I was just going to
log off. I was just going to say, for as long as we've had the show, we've had this arch nemesis. We have a couple arch nemesises.
There might be a handful of them.
We got about 3 or 4. One of them has been Knicks fan 69. This guy goes after us. He gets our goat. He like always in our ear.
Still number 2 on on a piece of shit list.
Piece of shit list. Still, freaking Grayson Allen. Then he.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, sorry, that can distract you easily.
But we have a couple very loyal fans. We have Upper Deck 40, who sends us a direct message and says, I'm not going to get into specifics. Bottom line, he has inside information that Frank Murray, avid listener, is in fact Knicks fan 69. Yes.
He has good reason to believe that it is our dear friend Frank Murray. Now, when I first hear that, I just can't believe it.
No, you shudder. You shudder.
Not Frank. But
then it starts making sense.
The pieces start to fall in place. So,
and then I find it interesting because then he tweets at MeatBulls, check the poll, because we put up a poll.
Yeah.
And it's like 50-50, 2 votes and 2 votes. And it's like, 200 votes. It's split.
Yeah.
And like many of the 200 no votes are Murray relatives. I'm like, wait.
At least 50% of them.
You get John Murray, friend of the show, friend of the pod, tweeting at us, Frank's not Knicks fan 69.
They were a little too quick.
Yeah.
To say no. So
multiple St. Rita guys tweeting at us.
Yes. I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I've been sleeping on it. I'm still processing it because I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
No, I don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe it exactly.
But let's see what he said.
But at the same time.
Yeah.
He has been a big Zach LaVine hater. Okay, I shouldn't say hater. Sorry, I don't want to misquote you, Frank, but he has his doubts. And for you guys know, last year, about a year ago, my wife had a baby. Frank hosted the show for us, so he's a beyond friend of the pod. He's been a guest host. Yes. So to go out and just think that this guy, like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I know, I can't. I'm gonna get too worked up here. So.
Well, okay, so Trevor and I threw out a goal to the team. Let's go 2-1.
2-1 by next week.
And then, is there anything you want to see tonight and Sunday and even into Wednesday?
I'd like to see, Io's had I wouldn't call it a slump, but he's kind of dropped a little bit in specifically his 3-point shooting. Yeah. Because what I do like about what Io's been doing is he's been a lot more aggressive at taking it to the hoop.
Big time.
I would like to see that continue as well as Patrick Williams, still inconsistent, but him playing on the defensive end, and that the 3-point shot is, I didn't realize that could, be such a weapon for him. So,
and I wholeheartedly agree with you. Part of Io's and it's I don't know if it's his 3-point shooting percentage is like falling off. He's just not taking as many. But he has been far more aggressive. It's like getting an outlet pass and he's on the go.
Yeah.
Or a defensive rebound and he's taking it.
And that's nice to see, because I believe that's his true game, is attacking the hoop like that.
For sure.
Nice to see.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we've set our goals.
Yep.
We kind of highlighted some stuff for you. I'm emotionally drained from this one today, Trevin.
This took a lot out of me too.
Well,
but it also feels good.
It feels good. I feel better.
It's cleansing. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, until next time.
That's
That's